Thanks to the supporters at channel member Matt Dale. Well, it's fair to say, folks, so far this save has been going really rather well. That could all change today, though. The January transfer window quickly approaches, which means, of course, we're going to lose a number of key players without necessarily being able to replace them immediately or of the same standard. Plus, today, we play our title rivals, Real Madrid. Hello, welcome to part 4 of Rebuilding Barcelona. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have a Champions League game against Zenit St. Petersburg, which on the face of it might not seem that important. Bear with me a minute. And we also are at home against Real Madrid in La Liga. And as you can see, Real Madrid are the team closest to catching up with us in La Liga. They're 6 points behind with a game in hand. So win the game in hand and beat us, and they are right back in the mix. The reason the Champions League game is particularly important as well is because our Champions League form has been pretty poor. We drew against Zenit earlier in the campaign. We then beat Leipzig, beat Genk at home, but then lost away against Genk with 2 very late goals from Genk. They scored in the 90th and the 93rd minute to turn around that tie and leave our Champions League group 4 games in looking like this. We are still top of the group, but we're only level on points with Genk, having played them twice. No, hang on. Yes. Yeah, we've played them twice. We've got St. Petersburg and Leipzig still to play. So we played Genk twice and we're level on points with them. So they could go and beat these other 2 teams and potentially finish on 13 points. We still have to play Leipzig away from home. And that means this game against Zenit St. Petersburg, really very important if our plan is to, get out of the Champions League group, which if we check in on the club vision, the expectation is apparently not judging the Champions League. Interesting. We did get the new chairman come in as part of the elections. They came in, they said they were going to sack me and replace me with Ronald Koeman, but then decided to keep me after all. But it looks like they're not judging me on the Champions League this year, which that might be quite handy. Although they want me to challenge for La Liga, which we should be doing, and also look to repair the club's financial damage, which we are not doing any. We've not done nothing towards that goal so far. I had hoped that as part of the new chairman, they'd invest some money. They haven't. The net debt figure, which is the one we're monitoring, is increasing again, back up to £928 million nearly, as these £26 million per month payments continue to come out, and we're not really getting income flowing in. We're down to less than £100 million in the bank balance as it stands currently, with 2 more of those £26 million payments due to come out before January hits. We could hit the start of the transfer window over £1 billion in net debt again quite easily. And still, what is that, £600,000 a week under over our wage budget? So still very much in a situation where if we can find anyone to take him, we need to let Coutinho go. We probably need to let Dembele go as well. He's wanted by a lot of clubs because remember, he's out of contract in the summer. So all those clubs that are interested in him aren't likely to be offering us money for him in January. It's very much going to be a case of they're going to offer him pre-contracts. And then I guess we're going to have to try and convince somebody to pay us to take him early once they've done the pre-contract so we can get the money off the wage bill. But priority number 1 going into January is get rid of Philippe Coutinho. Inter are interested. We will take any money from him. I don't care about them. I'll let him go there on a free transfer if they pay all of his wages. But it is getting to that point where we have to start thinking about that. But of course, at the moment, no clubs have their transfer budgets in place because nobody will get them until the start of the January transfer window. So there's no point in offering anybody out at this stage. As soon as we hit January, things are going to get busy. But before any of that, we need to make sure we qualify for the Champions League knockout rounds. So a win here against Zenit St. Petersburg, really very important. We're still struggling with fitness issues. You can see that Dest has now picked up an injury. He's going to be out for the next week or so. We've also sent Frankie de Jong, Sergi Roberto, Ansu Fati. They're all having a little holiday because they were getting very, very tired, all of which means we don't actually have a right back available. So Eric Garcia is going to be playing right back for us in this match. He'll be fine. He'll be absolutely fine. Right wing back on attack as well. Let's do it like we mean it. We have called a couple of players up from the youth team. I forget if they were in the youth team or the B team. But we've called a couple of boys up into this first team squad. Elias Acomatch is a 17-year-old Spanish under-19 international with 4.5-star potential. Fancy attacking midfielder type, similar positions to Ansu Fati, which isn't particularly helpful, having them both come in and play in similar positions. And then we've got Yusuf Demir as well, who the comments section tell me is an FM21 wonder kid. As you all know, I don't look at the wonder kids lists. They don't interest me. I like to play the game as if it's real life, and knowing who the wonder kids are spoils that a little bit. So I have no idea who this guy is, but he's yet another attacking midfielder / right winger who's young, which is great and all that. He's got lots of potential, but we're a little bit overloaded in this wide right position. As you can see, Pedri's going to be playing there today. It certainly means we can let Dembele go and effectively not worry about replacing him. And probably same situation with Coutinho. If we let Coutinho and Dembele go, those two positions could then be replaced by Pedri, Fati, Acomatch, and Demir. I don't know if we've got a deal to sign him permanently. Where would that be? An optional future fee of £10 million. So realistically, we're probably not going to be signing him permanently because we're not going to have £10 million to spend, I wouldn't have thought. So he's probably not somebody we need to worry about longer term. But what we do need to worry about is beating Zenit St. Petersburg. I feel like I've already tried to get us into the match once. Let's actually play it this time. We're going with ter Stegen in goal, a back four of Alba, Longley, Piqué and Garcia, Busquets and Ricky the Pig in midfield. I had so many different pronunciations offered in the comments section yesterday, ranging from, I think anyone who, there's some kind of American sports person, I forget which sport, who has a surname and it's pronounced Puig or Puig or something like that. But people are telling me that if he's Catalan, which presumably he is because he speaks Catalan, if he's Catalan, it would actually be pronounced closer to something like Puig or Pooch. Either way, I'm not going to please everybody by trying to say it right, and I'm probably still going to say it wrong. He's Ricky the Pig, and he's going to be playing in midfield for us today alongside Busquets. We've then got Depay, Coutinho, and Pedri as our attacking midfield three, and Sergio Aguero up front, who is still having, I mean, it could potentially be the best season of his career, goals-wise. 16 league goals on the board already. His highest he's ever scored is 26 for Manchester City back in 2015. I think he beats that this season. If he stays fit, this is the best goal return of his career. Coming to Spain and scoring all the goals, because Spain is easy, apparently. That's certainly the story the British media will be telling everybody. I mean, based on my experiences so far, it certainly does seem easier than the Premier League does, based on, I've played a lot of Premier League in recent years in Football Manager, as you all know, if you've been watching the channel for a long time, which a lot of you are new for this series. So if you are new, please make sure you subscribe, stick around. We've got lots of other good stuff around here, lots of good stuff coming for FM22. But if you have been around for a while, you'll know I spend a lot of my time in the Premier League, and it's never, even with the big clubs, it's never this easy to build a 6-point lead at the top of the Premier League, the way we have with La Liga, with what isn't a particularly strong squad. It's a good 11, but not much depth. We've done well here, though. Ricky the Pig with the ball forward, and Aguero is there to tuck it under the Zenit goalkeeper. And this is what we need today. We need an early goal. We need a couple more goals. We need to really put a marker down. We mean business, and we're ready for that second round. Ideally, what we need is Genk to beat Leipzig. It's 0-0 between them at the moment. As it stands, that would be enough. If results in this group stay as they are currently, we're through. But if, I guess, in fact, a draw is better than Genk beating them. I was thinking Genk beating them really hammers home that we've qualified, but it means we're less likely to top the group. So let's have the draw between Genk and Leipzig, please. And Leipzig can be the ones who have to mess around playing Thursday night football. Memphis Depay has just made it 2-0 with a header from that cross coming in from the right-hand side. He's not been as effective as I thought he was going to be. I don't know if I'm maybe using him wrong. Maybe once Philippe Coutinho leaves and we potentially start playing Memphis in central as the central attacking midfielder, we might get a little bit more out of him. Or some people have suggested that maybe he could be the long-term replacement for Sergio Aguero as our advanced forward. We might get a little bit more out of him. Playing him out wide on the left, I don't think we're getting the best of Memphis Depay, but he did pretty well there, nodding that header in. I am wondering if we play him up front, I guess we could put Ansu Fati on the left, have that other youngster whose name escapes me on the right, and Pedri in the middle, and have a very, very young attacking midfield three, all homegrown, with playing behind Memphis, who's got himself very central there and weighed in with his 5th goal of the season. I said he's not been much of a threat so far. He's certainly a threat today. And he started that move deep and then he's laid it off. I think he lays it off. Yeah, he does lay it off to Pedri, gets the ball back. For a second, I thought I'd miswatched the entire goal and he'd gone all the way on his own, but combined well with Pedri there to make it 3-0. And this is comfortable for us now. Still 0-0 in the other game. So as it stands, we are going to be qualifying here, which is spot on. Memphis nearly grabbing himself a first half hat trick there. Aguero unselfishly nodding the cross down to him when he probably could have gone for goal himself, but 3-0 up, there's not really any reason to. Just let the boy have his hat trick. Let him have a little bit of a confidence booster because he's the one who's going to ease some pressure on you playing in the first team, Sergio. Clement Longley continues to be a threat from the corners. Again, going back to what you've said in the comments section, a couple of you made this point, and you're absolutely right. Here's me trying to force PK from the corners when we're witnessing how much of a threat Longley is. So why mess with it? And yeah, I agree. So I've not messed with it. I've gone back to the corner instruction that we had at the start of the season. We've been doing that for the last 3 or 4 games now. And yeah, we'll just go with that because PK, even when I had the system set up the way I wanted it to be set up, PK wasn't offering the same kind of threat as Longley, which makes no sense to me logically. If you look at the 2 players, PK should definitely be the bigger aerial threat from set pieces, if for no other reason, the fact that he's much taller. But what do I know? Pedri now with his first goal of the season, nodding it. I mean, that's not the kind of goal you expect to see Pedri scoring, I don't think, but he'll take it. We'll take it. Coutinho with the free kick. Pedri there to nod it home. Free header at the far post. It's 5-0 now, and we are making things a little uncomfortable for Zenit right now. And just as I was about to say, let's start saving some legs, my assistant manager has the same idea. So we will take Coutinho off and we'll bring Collado on for him. Can he actually play in that role? He can play in that role. Another one of our youngsters who's come through the youth system, I think. Yeah, well, I mean, I tell you what, you might not know this. There's quite a good youth academy here at Barcelona. Just throwing a little bit of knowledge out there that I'm discovering as this save goes on. Who else can we bring on to, or bring off, I guess, to save some legs? Dembele can continue to sit things out, but we're going to have to bring on Luke de Jong, aren't we? Oh, it pains me to do it because I said I wasn't going to do it, but he did score against Atletico and I've not really used him since. We're giving him a solid half hour now just to give Sergio Aguero a rest with it. We're going to bring Braithwaite on in a minute as well. You've all told me as well that it's pronounced Brathwaite rather than Braithwaite. I remember the commentators saying it like that during the Euros as well. I do remember it, but no, it's not. It's Braithwaite. Get him here. I'll talk to him. I'll explain it to him. I'll show him there's an I in his name. Right. Assistant manager is recommending we take off Ricky the Pig. I disagree. We're going to take off Memphis because he needs the rest more than Ricky does. Let's get Braithwaite on the left-hand side. It looks like my assistant manager is trying to push what some of you have suggested, playing Araujo as the box-to-box midfielder. He's a centre-back who can play as a defensive midfielder as well. He's not particularly comfortable in central midfield, but I suspect he can do a job there. But I think Sergi Roberto is my man in that role when everybody is fit. But as you know, at the moment, we've not got everybody fit. We have won a penalty here. Just as Memphis has gone off, this would have been his opportunity to finish off his hat-trick. But it's going to be PK taking the penalty, and it's saved. PK's just not having any luck from set pieces with me this season. He's done well to keep hold of the ball there, though. Finds almost... What's he done there? I mean, he's cleared it beautifully. Was that a shot? Has that been recorded as a shot? Well... that was an interesting one. Longley playing it forward now, looking for the run of De Jong, who we've not seen at all. I mean, he's been on the pitch 22 minutes and we've seen him do nothing. When he did score against Atletico, he was playing alongside Aguero as a target man. Can't really use a target man in this system, so we have him set to be a pressing forward when he's up front on his own in this system. We've not really tried it before, and it doesn't really seem like it's working either. Zenit have got a goal back. Doesn't really matter. We're still got 5 goals of our own. What we are interested in is the Genk-Leipzig game, and it looks like Leipzig have gone ahead against Genk. I mean, to be honest, it also kind of helps us out. Although do Genk have a better head-to-head? So if we lose against Leipzig and then Genk beat Zenit, which they will, so we're going into that final game needing a draw against Leipzig, which we should get. Oh, look, and more fitness concerns. Everybody's always got fitness concerns. Fine. You boys can have holidays too. I know the solution to not having this constantly come up is to rotate the players better, but we haven't got enough of a squad to do that. So I'm letting the game force me to rotate. Who was the other one? He's not even being recommended a holiday. Was it Jordi Alba? Jordi Alba not being recommended a holiday. So, in fact, I won't send him on holiday. We'll just send Memphis. Because now we've got to play Real Madrid. So, I do hope that those players I sent before are going to be back for the weekend. We'll return in 4 days. We might have quite a mixed side for the Real Madrid game. We did get all of the holiday players back, so the only players we're missing are Dest, who's still not fully fit, and Depay, of course, who has now been sent on a little week's holiday. So it is quite a different looking team. And the back four is pretty similar. Sergio Roberto comes back in at right back. We then got De Jong and Busquets together again in midfield, going again with De Jong as the box-to-box midfielder. Because, I mean, he can certainly do it. It's not him at his best, but I don't need two playmakers. And Busquets is better than De Jong at the playmaker stuff. Maybe. Dembele, Coutinho and Fati as the midfield three. And Aguero, as ever, up front. Weirdly, old man Sergio up front. I know he doesn't have to run around very much, but he seems to need fewer rests than everybody else. He's made for this. He can cope with all the running and all of the physical expectations I've got on him. Watch him get injured in the first 3 minutes of this game now, after all that talk. Right, Dembele picking the ball up in the inside left position and runs out onto this right-hand side, gives it to Roberto, a rare appearance for him at right back. I have been using him quite a lot as my box-to-box midfielder since I discovered he could play there. I figured that out. That was a Kev creation. Busquets playing it forward to Dembele, who's in here, and it's a lovely finish from Dembele. I tell you what, we are going to miss him. It's a 6th goal of the season for Ousmane Dembele, and he is a big threat off of either wing. You know he's a player that I like. If you watched my Leicester series way back at the start of FM21, you'll know that Ousmane Dembele was a player that I brought in to be part of my superstar front three alongside Neymar and Erling Haaland. I had Dembele on the right of my three and really, really liked him. So Dembele is certainly a player that I know I can get some good performances out of, but we can't afford to renew his contract. It's not even that there's a decision for me to make there. There's going to be clubs coming in and offering him contracts in less than a month's time. The most we can offer any player is £2,500 a week at the moment. He's probably not going to sign for that. I'll live with you. I've not offered it to him, but I assume he's not going to sign it. So we don't have the option of keeping him. He's just going to go. And then it just becomes a decision of, well, do we push him out in January if someone will give us money for him? And then the obvious answer is, yes, we're trying to fix the finances. So yes, we have to do that. Ansu Fati has just scored, and we are 2-0 up over Real Madrid inside the first 5 minutes of this game. This is impressive. This is impressive stuff from us. Real Madrid have had a very good start to the season as well, but they have not had a very good start to this game. And our two wide men, both of them cutting inside and offering a huge amount of threat up there, supporting Aguero, who I guess is occupying the defenders and leaving spaces for the wide men to come in and exploit. And we've got the wing backs pushing forward on both sides, and we've got the potential for a third here. Dembele's been fouled. The referee's going over to look at his little telly. This could be a penalty. We could be 3-0 up over Real Madrid inside the first 7 minutes of this game, which I think we'll all agree is a lot better than any of us thought we'd be able to achieve. Ref, come on, give us a penalty. We'd love a penalty. We've got a penalty. Aguero's going to step up to take it. I think this will make his 20th goal of the season if he tucks it in all competitions. I think he was on 18 going into the previous match. We won't know because he didn't score. That's your turning point of the game right there. I've played Football Manager before. I know how this works. Unless, of course, we score here. Coutinho with the corner. It's Longley again. I mean, PK is stood there on the corner of the 6-yard box, perfect position to nod it home. And instead, we're still aiming at Longley, who's level with the penalty spot and taking it on the volley. I don't understand why and how Coutinho is taking corners the way he is. It's not how I'm telling him to do it, but it is proving to be effective. He's just doing his own thing. He's a maverick, and I think we're probably going to miss his set-piece delivery when he goes as well. But what we won't miss is his £400,000 a week salary, because if we can get both Coutinho and Dembele off the books, Aguero is in here, and that's some excellent defending from whoever that is at the back. Presumably that was Eder Militao, and that was incredible defending. Ansu Fati has picked up an injury. We're going to try and leave him on until half-time, because otherwise, I mean, I'm just worried about the players coming on breaking as well. He doesn't look like he's struggling too much. Currently, De Jong has had a couple of bites of the cherry there, but can't fire the ball home. But Jordi Alba's played very well at left back for us today and gets there first. Once again, I forget what I was saying before all the excitement built there. I'm sure it was something incredibly profound. Yes, it was about Coutinho and Dembele leaving. I would like to think that will leave us in the position, if both of them go, to maybe be able to offer at least one pre-contract of our own. That's what I'm hoping for. If that brings us back down within our wage budget, if we could then look at all... I haven't even looked. I don't want to know. Because if I'm not able to offer contracts, if we don't get rid of those two, I don't want to know who we're missing out on. So I don't know who's going to be available in January. But I guess the choice would be extend Sergi Roberto or have a look to see what's going to be available on the free transfers. And like I say, probably be able to offer one pre-contract if we can get both of those gone early in January. I don't know who the one would be, because I don't know who's available, but I don't know what position we'd look to strengthen. My instinct says a striker, because we've got good strength in depth in midfield. We've got all those youngsters coming through in attacking midfield that we were looking at before. We've got some solid defenders. We've got lots of backup at centre-back. And Aguero's 33. So my instinct is we look to see what's available in an out-of-contract striker. I don't know who is. Going to be interesting. Pedri's coming on for Fati at half-time. As we know, Fati picking up a knock. Pedri, a very different kind of threat from that right-hand side, but equally effective and has been playing pretty well with the opportunities that he's had this season, especially because as a young player, he's played in 4 or 5 different positions for us already this season. Here is Pedri on the right-hand side with the cross, looking for Aguero, but Courtois is there to collect the cross relatively comfortably, but his distribution is poor, and Longley wins it back, hands it off to De Jong, who asks Busquets to do the playmaking, because that's what they've been told to do. See, they can follow instructions. Unlike Coutinho, there's Busquets again. What a pass through to Pedri. That is one of the great passes in Football Manager history. That was sensational. That's why he's the playmaker, boys and girls, because you've got no right to play a pass like this. It's unacceptably good. I don't know why they've left him have so much space to just look up, pick his spot, play it perfectly. He's put it in exactly the right place, exactly the right weight on the pass, and it's so easy for Pedri to just knock that in after Busquets has done all the work for him. What a player. He's another one who's very expensive, though, who might have to move on. But in that instant, lovely, lovely stuff. And I think this leaves us, as it stands, 9 points clear of Real Madrid. They do still have that game in hand, but we are looking very good. If you remember from the last episode, my goal is very much pile up as many points as possible before January, on the understanding that as soon as January comes, the squad is going to get weakened. We are going to be, at the very least, losing Dembele, hopefully losing Coutinho, and unlikely to bring anybody else in. So that's 2 big players who've offered us a lot in this first half of the season, who won't be here, and we are going to be relying on youngsters a little bit more. So I don't expect us to be quite so dominant in the second half of the season as we are in the first. And then the challenge becomes making sure that this time next year we've done enough shuffling players around over January and over the summer to make sure we're competitive again next season. Dembele's just slid in like a madman there. What is he thinking? He's got away with it, but it was absolutely insane to even attempt it. Ter Stegen. Should trust him. Should have trusted him all along. That's proper sweeper keeping there, and he did very well at it. But, oh my word, it's terrifying watching it happen. He's a lot more confident in his ability there than I was, and he did very, very well. Dembele trying to beat his man, but can't. And now Real Madrid trying to get themselves back into this game. I mean, They've just been absolutely shell-shocked by us, but they are trying to get something going. But what a pass from Pedri. He'd been on the receiving end of a world-class pass earlier in the match. He's tried to return the favour, but this time across to Dembele. It's not quite as perfect as the one that we saw from Busquets. A little bit too heavy, potentially, and left the shot a little bit too wide, but love the idea of it. Right, we are going to take off Aguero again. His job is done for another day, and I think we'll take off Coutinho as well. We're going to bring on Braithwaite, and we'll put Pedri into his preferred central attacking midfielder role. This is where we want to be using him long term. If Coutinho's going to be going, which he needs to be, that's Pedri's role. We have Pedri there. We have Fatty on the left, probably, and then one of those youngsters on the right. And then as long as nobody gets injured, we're fine. We have no backups for those roles. We're going to be playing Braithwaite, aren't we? Right. Real Madrid have a goal back. They are creeping back into the game. 12 minutes to go. They have got one. Hopefully that's the only one we're going to let them have. They're, I mean, Modric, Hazard, these are quite good players for knocking a pass through as well, aren't they? And Hazard has done a lovely ball through to Vinicius Jr. there. And let's not let them have another. Pedri heading it towards Braithwaite, but can't find him. And Casemiro now for Real Madrid. Casemiro, one of my streamer showdown veterans, although I do remember him getting a red card at a key moment for me in a streamer showdown at some point, and it was problematic. We've been caught very, very flat there, though, and Real Madrid are in again, and this time it's Eden Hazard, a 9th goal of the season for him, and it's like they've woken up in the last couple of minutes and have just decided to come at us, and this is poor defending. We're so flat and so slow to react there. PK's got a bigger turning circle than I have, and yeah, we were really, really caught too high there. And this is where the comment section is saying, Kev, drop your defensive line. I know that's what a lot of you would do, but you also know that's not what I'm going to do, because I am very much of the school of thought of don't fiddle. If the tactic worked, don't fiddle with it. Sometimes it kicks you in the nuts. That was spectacular from Benzema, and, well, we've gone from 3-0 up to 3-3. I mean, it's just happened. I blinked and it was level. Now I know how they felt when we had that penalty to go 3-0 up on 7 minutes. Oh my word! Oh, it's offside. I thought we'd done the ridiculous and made this into one of the greatest El Classicos there's ever been. 3-0 up, 3-3 in a moment, and then we go and grab a late winner, but it's being disallowed. I am sure it is disallowed. Dembele's offside. We don't have Aguero on the pitch anymore. Is this a close call? Not really. Not really at all. And, well, we have thrown this one away. Look at the XG. They're going to win it here, aren't they? Their XG is still less than 1. This is just, is it poor goalkeeping? Is it poor defending? I'm glad they got a centre-back to take that free kick. But, I mean, yeah, we'll take the draw now, please and thank you. We're still unbeaten in La Liga currently. Let's keep that going. PK, playing it forward to Braithwaite. We've got seconds left to try and grab a winner and stop the chorus of boos that we're probably going to be hit with at full time after throwing away a 3-0 lead. We don't do it. I think that's probably going to be that. And it is 3-3. The substitutions changed the game, didn't they? And not in a good way. I like this. The media narrative, it's just Aguero's fault. I am up for that. Let's blame Sergio Aguero. He's old. He's not going to be here long. Doesn't matter if everyone gets upset with him. We will send Jordi Alba on his holiday now. He wanted one after the last game. He can have one now. But yeah, the important thing is 16 games unbeaten, still top of the league. Real Madrid haven't closed the gap on us. Even if they win their game in hand, they're still 3 points behind. Aguero's top scorer. We head on to January and transfers coming up tomorrow. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.